When we think about what makes a country's Air Force truly dominant, we usually picture one single, unbeatable fighter jet. But what if the real secret to ruling the skies isn't about having one perfect aircraft, but a perfectly coordinated team? That's exactly the idea at the heart of the Israeli Air Force's strategy today, a strategy built around an amazing partnership between two very, very different jets. And this quote, man, it just perfectly captures the whole story. This isn't about one jet replacing another. It's about synergy. You've got one plane that is the razor-sharp, bleeding edge of the future, and then you have the other, which is the steady, powerful hand that actually wields that blade. So that's the big question we're diving into, right? How do you take a classic, battle-hardened brawler and team it up with a high-tech, stealthy genius? It's a story about strategy, about some really clever customization, and a combat philosophy that's pretty unique. All right, so let's meet the first member of our dream team, the F-16I. In Hebrew, it's known as the Sufa, which means storm. And let me tell you, this jet has absolutely earned that name, acting as this powerful, constant force for the Israeli Air Force. Now, you probably recognize that iconic F-16 shape, but you have to understand, the Israeli Sufa is a completely different beast. We're talking about the most heavily customized version of the F-16 that has ever taken to the skies, and it's been tailored specifically for Israel's unique strategic needs. So what makes it so special? Well, check out a few of these key upgrades. First, you see those fuel tanks that are kind of blended right into the body? Those give it incredible range for really long-distance missions. It's also got a two-crew cockpit, which is a huge deal when you're trying to manage a complex strike. And this is critical. About half of its avionics are Israeli-made, which gives them total control over its systems and its electronic warfare capabilities. And that two-person crew? It's a total game changer. Just listen to what this Supa navigator says.
The pilot's job is to fly the plane, sure, but on a complex ground attack mission, it's the navigator in the back seat who's basically the mission commander, managing the battle, picking out targets, and deciding how the whole strike goes down.
Okay, so now let's meet the other half of this dynamic duo, the F-35I Adir, which means mighty. And if the Sufa is the brawn, the tough workhorse, then the Adir is, without a doubt, the brains of the entire operation. This right here, this illustrates the Adir's superpower. It's not really about speed or how it turns. It's all about information. Its real power comes from something called the distributed aperture system. Basically, it's a network of 6 cameras that create this seamless 360-degree bubble of vision around the jet. The pilot can literally look through the floor of their own plane and see the ground perfectly. So how does it do all this? Well, it's all powered by this incredible concept called sensor fusion. The F-35's computer is just gobbling up terabytes of data from its own radar, its cameras, its electronic warfare systems, even from other friendly planes. And it fuses all of that information into one single, simple, intuitive picture for the pilot. It literally turns the chaos of battle into pure clarity. Probably the best way to wrap your head around the F-35's role is to think of it as the quarterback of the sky. It doesn't have to be the one to throw every block or make every tackle. Its job is to see the entire field, to read the defense, and to call the plays for the rest of the team. And just how dominant is this thing? In big training exercises like Red Flag, the F-35 has reportedly racked up a 20-to-1 kill ratio against other advanced fourth-generation fighters. That's 20 enemy planes down for every single F-35 lost. I mean, that number, it just speaks for itself. Okay, so we've got the powerful, long-range Storm, and we've got the all-seeing, stealthy Mighty. So now we get to the most important part. How in the world do you get these two incredible but very different jets to fight together as one cohesive unit? This is the tactical puzzle that Israel's air strategy has so brilliantly solved. You've got one jet that can carry a massive amount of weapons but isn't stealthy, and another that's practically invisible to radar but can't carry as much internally. So how do you make them, well, greater than the sum of their parts? And the answer is just this brilliant division of labor. Think of it like this: the eyes and the fist. The F-35I, the Adir, it acts as the eyes. It's the stealth scout that slips deep into enemy territory completely undetected. And then the F-16I, the Sufa, it follows up as the fist, a heavy weapons truck that delivers overwhelming firepower once the F-35 has lit up the targets. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's that same F-16I navigator explaining the whole doctrine perfectly. The F-35 goes in first, silently maps out every threat and every target, and then it securely data links that complete picture back to the F-16s who are waiting. And now they have perfect intelligence to go in and do their job. So, that's the theory. But what does this high-tech tag team approach actually look like when things get real, in an actual mission? It unfolds like a perfectly choreographed play in 3 simple steps. 1. The F-35 Adir goes in, scouting ahead, its sensors just soaking up every single detail of the battle space. 2. It shares this God's eye view with the F-16s, literally painting the targets right on their cockpit displays. And 3. The F-16s, now armed with perfect intel and without ever having to risk turning on their own radars, just roll in to deliver the streak. And, the effectiveness of this whole doctrine, it isn't just theoretical. Reflecting on recent missions, one SUFA navigator was so confident in how well it worked, this blend of top-tier intelligence and flawless execution, that he said he thinks their tactics will be studied in universities for years to come. When you boil it all down, this entire strategy, it rests on a really simple but incredibly powerful guiding philosophy. It's a philosophy that favors a practical, effective combination over the endless search for a single, theoretically perfect solution. And here it is. Mass plus judgment beats perfection. The whole idea is, instead of waiting around for some mythical, perfect jet that can do everything by itself, it is way more effective to combine the judgment of a high-tech sensor platform like the F-35 with the mass of a reliable weapons carrier like the F-16. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, ultimately, Israel's air power isn't defined by the F-35 alone, or the F-16 alone, but by the powerful network they create together. The Adir brings the judgment, the SUFA brings the mass, and that combination creates a fighting force that's more flexible, more resilient, and way more lethal than either one could ever hope to be on its own. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As military tech keeps pushing deeper into stealth and data and networks, maybe the ultimate expression of air power isn't going to be found in the specs of a single aircraft anymore. Maybe it's in that aircraft's ability to make its entire team smarter, stronger, and deadlier.